Hey guys, what's up? This is David from Common RDW here, and welcome to a video where me and Connor, say hi Connor,
What's up, everyone?
we are going to be talking about the game demos that we played at the Indie Arena booth 2020 for Gamescom. It was really awesome because since, of course, Gamescom couldn't happen physically, just like how they had their opening night live online, they also had a whole bunch of opportunities for indie game devs to basically let their games be public to like the masses in demo form, like through Steam, and they had like a virtual like online booth space people could use. It was really awesome, like really impressive how they pulled that off. But
It was.
yeah, it was really cool. And me and Connor got to play a lot of demos. Like we had so many jotted down. Actually, we probably didn't even get to all the games that we wanted to play, but we want to talk about the games that we did get to play. So first off, let's just talk about Indie Arena booth as a whole, like that whole event. What did you think about it?
Well, I thought it was honestly cool that it was kind of like a MMO style, like Club Penguin, where you could log in, make your virtual character, and then scroll through the different booths. But I will say, I think they could have done just the tiniest bit better job at explaining how the map works. Is my like one take of the whole thing, because it took me a minute. Because there's a downside to the event, which is I think it's a little hard just to scroll through and look at them and be like, oh, I happen to randomly stumble upon this game. Let's look at it. And it was much easier just to search for the boot that you're looking for the game that you want to try.
Yeah, I just literally just went on the map and searched until I found stuff. I didn't just wander through.
Because I think what I realized is there's a bunch of streamer booths too. I don't know if you popped in any of those, but when you go in, you could click and you could go into one of their streams.
It was like someone's Twitch channel.
Yeah, but a lot of them were like the interview streams, and I don't know how they got like set up with the event to like host like an
probably
actual
like really big streamers or something like that were partnered or
yeah.
something. But yeah, that's really awesome. I like how each individual booth was like customized with like the flair of that game and that dev. It was really awesome. It was, of course, I think it was their first year ever doing something like this. So there were, as you mentioned before, there were like a couple bugs, a couple quality of life things that could be adjusted if they do end up doing something like this again, which I honestly, they should just do this every year. Like even like E3, for example, like if they wanted to have like a digital showcase, like what I've been talking about for bigger first party AAA titles, instead, since we can't have E3, just have these demos be online and just let people play them, just like how this was. So this is honestly amazing.
Hosted streams where people can they get an interview up, they get a streamer connected with the people, they stream it, they let people come in and ask either the streamer or the developer questions, and you get so much more connected than the people who just sit there and watch those B-roll videos on YouTube and then see the press conferences. There's much more of a connect in my opinion, because I did 2 streams myself with interviews with people, and on one of them I had 13 people show up who were all from the Discord, or who was actually a couple of them were from the Indie Arena booth, and they were asking the developer questions the whole time. It was great. I thought it was a good chance for them to interact with one of the makers and learn more about a game they're interested in.
Yeah, it was really awesome how they pretty much made it where almost basically anybody could sign up to be like a streamer or content creator type of slot with Indie Arena booth. But then also, like for me, for example, I was press, so I got to I guess have a little bit more access to getting in contact with certain developers and things like that. But it's great that you even got to talk to a couple for some games that you were interested in. That's awesome.
I will say it's kind of interesting, because what I didn't realize till halfway through is a lot of these indie games are not made in America or made in this time zone.
Oh yeah, there's a lot that were made in Europe, or even a couple made in China and some other stuff like that. Yeah.
So I felt really bad when they were asking me to do these 5 a.m. my time interviews.
I'm is there any zones,
is there any way we could do 7 or 8 and it'd be 9 or 10 their time? I'm like, oh god, I feel awful, but that's no one's even gonna be watching my stream at that time.
Yeah, that's where it gets to where it sucks that we don't have these events happening in real time where everyone's just in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's it's really interesting to have to like work around those type of things. Like I had one dev who was like, "Oh yeah, I could do it at 3 p.m. my time, but for your time it'd be like 8 a.m." And I'd be like, "Okay." So that was really interesting to work with. But
did you stream any interviews while you were
I
doing
didn't
it?
stream any of my interviews. I just recorded all mine, or I sent one of the I sent the developer like a Google Doc with questions, and then they just responded and filled out the Google Doc with their responses, and then I'm just gonna do something with those.
Okay.
But yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this event. Gamescom did a really good job putting this together. Really cool idea. I hope they do it again. I hope more game events, or like even like Comic-Con or Anime Expo or something. I hope other places pick up this type of style where people could just go into like an online space or have more access to the major attractions virtually, rather than just having an online stream where just specific people can only have access to those things, and you're like watching a stream on Twitch or something like that. But yeah, okay, so let's get into our demos that we actually got around to playing. I'll let you go first, Connor.
Okay, so I'm only gonna be covering 3 games because I think me and you actually had a lot of games cross.
Yeah.
That we were interested in. The first one I'm actually gonna do was one of the first interviews I did. It's a game called Unbound Worlds Apart. This is a lovely and cute platformer. So in their words, it's Unbound Worlds Apart is an atmospheric puzzle platformer that immerses your beautiful handcrafted worlds where you conjure magical portals in order to solve puzzles. Players will explore a stunning handcrafted world and explore a dark fairy tale that begs to be unraveled. Essentially this game has a couple of interesting mechanics that I got to play through on the demo, because right now it's not a full release, only demo available. I believe they said full release will be 2021 sometime in April.
Yeah.
They don't have it up on here, but they were talking, because they don't have like an exact date yet, but they got plans. It's only a 3-person team. It's not a big team at all.
Oh, it's only 3 people on the whole game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Well, three people on the main game. You know, they get
like got, 3 of the main people.
Yeah, they a couple of people they have outside. But and I got to talk to one of them on the interview and play through the demo. It was only about 30 minutes. The demo's not very long, but it shows you 3 different portals. One is just a simple portal that puts you in a parallel universe, and it doesn't cover the whole map, by the way. It's just one circle that like covers a space, so easily change it and place it wherever you want. But it would reveal things that weren't there in the normal world. That allows you just traverse to different areas like platforms or spikes or even creatures or remove creatures. And then there was the upside down portal, which shifted the gravity and would make you go, up to the ceiling through that. And to me, that was one of my most fun portals, because it allows you to do like movement and physics-based jumps and stuff, where you had to like get around things using the shifting of gravity. And then I don't remember what they called it, unfortunately, but I called it the light activity portal. It basically is a circle of light that shows shadows, including platforms and other dangers, that if you move too much, it actually disappears and you can no longer see the shadows, including platforms you're trying to jump on. You fall right through them if you don't have the light up, which for me in a platformer is kind of interesting, because like, I don't know, I'm quick when it comes to when I play my short amount of platforms I do. I like to just try to barrel through. I don't have much patience, and that mechanic really makes you wait, because you have to wait for it to reset, plan your moves, do it, and then stop, and then plan your next set of moves.
Yeah, I'm looking at like a gameplay trailer, and I really like the visual style of this game, as well as like how I think I'm looking at the one where it will like make a rift where there's nothing, and then it opens up, and then there's more platforms and stuff like that. So you have to like go in and out.
Yeah. That's I think is the one that just alternates realities. Now, I will say the gameplay that I played, I just learned in the interview, is not actually the opening for the game when it comes out. They have a completely new opening to the game.
Oh, okay.
So, but apparently they've got some massive lore behind it. They have 4 different worlds you can play through, and about I believe 30 different mechanics, or portals as they call them.
There's gonna be 30 different types.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different mechanics they're throwing into this game. So you're definitely not going to get bored. And they said it's about a 5 or 6 hour gameplay, so not too long. They are interested in DLC, maybe even free DLC later down the line. But again, this is their one and only game, and they've been working on it on a few years, so they're going to continue with it and keep going. So check it out on Steam. The demo is actually still available at Unbound Worlds Apart. I highly suggest it. Fun 2D game, especially if you're a platformer fan. And it's definitely got the Hollow Knight feel, because you has teleporters that allows you to go through the very open map that they have.
Okay, so it has like fast travel and stuff.
Yeah, fast travel.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. So I am going to talk about one of my games, Pumpkin Jack by Head Up Studios. And this is like a 3D hack and slash, kind of like reminiscent to PS1, early PS2 era games like Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, or anything like that. So you're playing as Jak, who so pretty much the story for this is there was a world where everyone was like happy and just like chill, like humans were just fine. But then the devil, he was just like, yo, this shit boring. So then he sends like all of his minions and demons up to the surface world to cause chaos and make things more exciting for him. And then the humans are like, oh no, who's gonna save us? We need to stop this. And then they find like a wizard who counters the devil because he's starting to like bring light into the world and like stop the demons. But then the devil counterpicks the wizard and he summons Jak to come and like kill the wizard. So you're basically playing as the devil's counterpick throughout this whole game. And Jak apparently.
What you're playing the devil's advocate?
Yes. Oh my god. But yeah, so you get to play as Jak. There's like really clever writing in this too, which I like. There's no voice acting, but it's like you spawn into the game, and there's like this owl who's like kind of makes me think of the owl from like Ocarina of Time and Legend of Zelda, but only he's just like, yeah, you're not here to ask questions. You're literally just doing your job, and stuff like that. So he's just like a hard ass on you, and then later on in the demo, you end up getting a shovel, which is like a melee attack weapon, and then you also end up getting a crow that wants to help you with your journey to fight like a scarecrow that's like been terrorizing the forest. So then he comes with you, but then I guess he might end up sticking around the whole game. I'm not sure, but he's around in that the first area that you're in, which is like a mill, a barn area, and that's really cool. Like I said, it's like 3D hack and slash.
Yeah, I'm watching the video for it right now, on the press kit, and I'm kind of mad I didn't contact them about this.
Oh yeah, this game is really fun.
And it's like it's got kill all humans vibe.
Yeah.
Like that art style, that PS2 era style of game.
Yeah, so this game is 100% going to be on my radar until it launches. The platforming was solid. It was partial controller support when I played the demo. So I couldn't I couldn't do a good amount of my actions with a controller. So like running or like some other actions I couldn't do. So I had to use a mouse and keyboard. So I got to experience playing a 3D platformer with a mouse and keyboard, which is very weird. I don't know how people do that so seamlessly. But I ended up getting through it. It was fun. I'm looking forward to the final product. That's a game I 100% would recommend people look out for if they are fans of, like I said, PS2 era games like that, 3D hack and slashes with a nice it's not like too scary, but it's like a nice dark feel to it. So 100% keep an eye out for that one.
I definitely will. I'm sad I passed that one up. I would have downloaded that demo. Me next?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the other game I did an interview for, which is called Imagine Earth. So quick little synopsis is that it's a real-time planet simulation and a build-up strategy game.
So Civ.
Your job yeah, it is. It is kind of Civ, but unlike Civ, there's no battle mechanics to it.
Okay.
It's really focused on the build-up strategy part. The reason it's called real-time planet simulation is this game is actually developed a eco contest that Microsoft did about 10 years ago, where they're supposed to race forward and make a game that revolves around economy and not just economy, but sustainable living, and talking about eco threats, things that are, ecologically bad, or things that we can be doing. And so this game was kind of born from that, where you as the player are, your main job is to make these big cities that are profitable for the company that you work for by mining resources, selling goods, and creating sustainable living sources for millions to hundreds of millions of players, or not players, but people to live on these planets that you're going to. But you got to be careful, because choices that you make can start impacting the environment, and you get into situations where you start global warming, or you start pandemics and entire quarantines of cities because of your pollution to the soil, which kind of adds like this whole like pacifist danger, I believe, to what you're doing. You're like, man, I really want to make all this money, but if I do X, Y, and Z, I could really fuck up the planet that I'm on.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's why. Okay. That sounds interesting, actually. I'm looking at some gameplay for this, and 100% this is up your alley. I was never big on like simulation, like world sim type of, or city building type of games. Like, it's just a lot to keep track of for me, but looks very impressive. I really like that idea of like, they even said like you can melt polar ice caps by accident. You can do all types, like set off volcanoes, it looks like.
There's whole ruins there that give you special powers, but you also have the ability, if you really need the money, just to fucking scrap them.
Oh.
Like ancient civilization with magical power ruins that you can either use to completely help the planet and do what you want, or make a really nice profit off of.
Oh my gosh.
Which I think is an interesting juxtaposition of like what you're supposed to do in this game, because you have these kind of two characters that are always talking to you, and one of them's like, hey, here's how you be eco-friendly, and hey, here's how you build your city and grow and do this sustainably. And then you have your boss who's like, money, 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 make money. So it's I don't know, I like it. It's an interesting sim game I have not attested to it before.
I like how it has the consequences where you can, like, that seems like a really interesting plot, where like gameplay mechanic where you can actually end up just destroying the planet that you're trying to profit off of. So is there like an end game, or is it just continuously going?
So it's a campaign. So at least the campaign I played so far is you start in a world and you have a goal of how many people you want to populate that world. That's like the end goal for you to move on. Okay. So like first world was like you need to populate 900,000 people onto there. And like as you add the cities and do other things, they just kind of automatically come in. And then the next world was, okay, you need to mine 200 of these crystals, and you need to get a population of 1.5 million. But then that world automatically started throwing things into me, like the pandemic. I had 3 of my colonies outburst in plague, and I had to stop immediately what I was doing and start making medicine and rerouting all this other stuff.
Hacktag
to make
too real.
Right? Because it was funny in that moment that it happened. I stopped and I just stared and went silent on the interview. And he goes, "I promise you, we made this before the pandemic hit." Because it literally said your city's going into quarantine, and I just had to take a moment.
No. That's great. But yeah, so people that are really big fans of, like, I guess like SimCity or Civ or like any other type of game similar to that, like maybe Age of Empires or something like that, those type of people are get a really big kick out of Imagine Earth.
Or Spore.
Oh yeah. So what was the release date on that? Release window?
Release window, I believe, is at the end of next May. They don't have it up on here, but I believe that's what I have jotted down in my notes from the interview. But again, they don't have a hard set. They just, they do have, though, technically a full game out. It's pre-release, of course, but their full content is out. They're also welcome to notes if you want to send them an email because you see something, weird happening in the game, like a weird animation or something's not working right. because they're also, again, another small team. I think they're in total a team of 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Indies, man. The budget's low, but the production's high. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. I love this game.
Awesome.
I quite enjoyed it.
Let's see. I will go into my next game, which I will give a shout out to the Rescue Dog Shelter Simulator by let's see, who made this? Little Rock Games. Little Rock Games made this. And this game is really, really cute. I think you might like this game, Connor, since you like simulation type of games. So with this, you basically start out as an independent owner of a dog shelter, and the art style is really cute. It's by this one artist on Twitter. I can't think of their name right now. I'll probably put it in the video and post, but I love their art. So the fact that they got this person to make the visuals for the game is really amazing. It just adds to the charm of it. According to the devs, I was listening to an interview, official indie arena booth interview, and they were talking about that there's like over 30 something models of dogs in the game. So that's like really awesome. So there's like a lot of variety in there. The end goal is to there's not really, I don't even think there's an ending to this game. I think it just goes on until you end up failing. But you pretty much start with minimal funding, minimal dogs, and your goal is to get dogs adopted, keep the dogs healthy, get people to adopt them, keep your reputation high for the shelter as well. So you're like juggling a social media account and social media presence, so people know about your shelter and it has a good reputation. You can keep the money that you get is juggled with budgeting. So you're getting food for the dogs. You're making sure there's like medicine to take care of them. You're also upgrading your own personal inventory to where you have like better materials in terms of like dog walking prowess, to where you can like walk more than one dog at a time, where you can do things more efficiently. All sorts of stuff like that. So you're juggling all those things, and also the game is on like an end game timer, so you can only do so many certain things in a day. So it's like you're trying to prioritize what you need to get done versus getting the dogs adopted and things like that. So it's really cool how they ended up basically, they said they wanted to make this game to raise awareness of what it's like to be working at a dog shelter, to also like push the narrative of you should adopt from a shelter rather than like just adopting from like, you know, they're like instead of like breeders or something like that. Like adopt from a shelter. Yeah. But it's really cool. I like the so one thing with the dogs too, each individual dog has their own traits. So like one dog could be like, oh, this dog is rambunctious and it's really good with kids, but it also has like a liver thing or something like that. So that'll be like an effect to the dog. Or like I had one dog, they were like rowdy and bites and also has cancer. And I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. So I had to like manage that and also try to get the dog adopted at the same time while also taking care of the other dogs. Also, each dog has an individual health, like food and water meter. So like you're making sure you're actually taking care of them. And then they also have like the messes they make in their bin, like in their kennels. So you have to also juggle making sure those things stay clean. You have to take them for walks. So it's like really time management type of thing. Apparently you do end up getting AI companions to help you run the shelter. Like you end up getting volunteers. So that's going to make it a little more manageable. It'd be cool if they added co-op. People asked them about that in the chat, if they were going to add co-op to the game, but they said there's nothing on that yet. But yeah, the game's going to probably get really interesting when people are trying to be very efficient with adoptions and juggling their reputation and things like that as well. Because even like I said, you can even you have to monitor the dog's health too, and they even got as real with this game as adding a euthanization serum into the game as well, because they were just like, yeah, we thought about not adding it, but we wanted to have that in there because we wanted to add to the realness and also add the I guess like the sense of urgency with like taking in more dogs than you can, or like you can't get a dog adopted and XYZ, and you have to sometimes do it. But it's like that's there. It's
dogs?
Say what?
Does PETA cover virtual dogs? Just
Oh
so
my
God.
I mean, I'm pretty sure PETA's gonna find out about. They're like, yo, PETA's on top of on our ass about it.
Of course, PETA complained about Animal Crossing and like fishing and stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh dear God.
But yeah, they did say that you can, I guess, change a setting to where you don't have to do that, but instead you just send them to another shelter. Yeah, but I do like the game though. I wouldn't mind checking it out and seeing how long I can last and how efficient I can be. But it's in terms of like simulation games, this one's like pretty up my alley in terms of simulation. So yeah, To the Rescue Dog Shelter Simulator. I don't think they have a release window yet, but yeah, look them up on Twitter. They for sure have a social media presence on there. Little Rock Games.
Do they still have the demo out, or is it not working anymore?
I don't know if the demo still works. It'd be cool if it did, but I'm not sure.
I'll check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I will cover my last game that I think you didn't really play or look at, which is called Riftbreaker. So
I've heard a lot about Riftbreaker, actually.
Man,
from like some other people who demoed it.
I played the demo, and it's absolutely dope. It's incredibly hard. Like, it's really difficult. But quick synopsis is Riftbreaker is a base-building survival game with action RPG elements. You are an elite scientist commando inside an advanced mech suit capable of dimension rift travel. Hack and slash countless enemies, build up your base, collect samples, and research new inventions to survive. Now, this game is chaotic base building with wave mechanic enemies, and it gets hard. Now, the demo only puts you inside of the simulation before you're actually thrown into actual worlds through Rift portaling. But there's a lot of resource management that happens on top of a lot of like jumping between different bases, because you're gonna build like, I think I built 4 different bases throughout the world, and I tried to connect the power grid for all of them, which absolutely fucked me in the final wave set of creatures, because they destroyed all my power lines, and I was left completely defenseless. Like, all my turrets in 2 of my bases stopped, and I just lost those bases.
Dude, this looks ridiculous. This is insanely like actual waves of enemies, like World War Z amounts of enemies.
Yeah, it gets crazy. It gets insane. And the here's another thing. In your mech, your ammo is not infinite unless you've built the proper facilities to make that happen. And then they can still get destroyed in the middle of fighting other waves at other bases, leaving you ammo-less, which is what happened to me on my second try.
So the rift thing is you can make a rift to teleport between dimensions, or just different parts of one big map?
Well, okay. No, it's different parts of the map. So you go from base to base, and then if you have a rift portal, you don't even need to be near a rift portal. You can just automatically transport to that portal. So you set up a base, you make a rift portal, and then you have instant access to get to that base, which is why you're going between the bases so much. Because you could be on your main base, say, doing your production and trying to set up things, and all of a sudden you get alert, oh, this base up here is getting attacked. Well, let me rift over there real quick and start helping them if I don't think my turrets and my defenses that I set up can handle it.
It looks like the game might be pretty intensive on, like, graphical cards, because there's like so much fire and explosions and so many things.
Yeah, I didn't get any kind of issue. It ran very smooth, so I believe it is optimized. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's a beautifully well graphic heavy game of sci-fi building amazingness. I loved it. I still haven't actually beat the demo because I keep getting just fucked by the waves. I probably might be doing something wrong, like I tend to do. But I say give it a try if you're any kind of interested in it. Because even if you just play the demo and don't commit anymore, I think it's a good time to try.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, this game looks very hectic, very fun actually. So in terms of like I've mentioned this already, like management games or base building, I like when I can actually move my character around instead of I'm just like a god figure and I'm just like manipulating buildings and stuff, but I'm actually there on the ground moving around and fighting things that way. That seems really fun to me, so I'm interested in that for sure. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm going to bring up Drillman Rumble, which is another game that I played the demo for. This one is a 2D Smash-like or a party fighter type of thing. So with this one, first off, the graphics are amazing for this game. They look straight up something like out of a comic book or like a Flash animated anime. I really love the visuals for this thing. Like even the menu pops. There's really good music. It moves super smoothly for the visual effect on it. So I really like how the game looks. In terms of being like an anime fans love two things. It's drills and things that punch really fast, like Gurren Lagann and JoJo. So Drillman Rumble 100% is influenced by Gurren Lagann for the drill. Like there's even one of the characters who's basically one of the poster children for the game. His name is Simon, or Simone as I like to call him, because deadass just a freaking Gurren Lagann reference.
It's wow, amazing.
So that's great. It supports, apparently it's going to support up to 8 players local multiplayer.
Ooh.
So that's pretty wild to me. Either that or it's 4-player local but 8-player online, I'm guessing. But yeah, I played some local games with some friends, and that actually it's a very fun, silly game, not made to be taken seriously. I don't even think this game 100% isn't one of the games that can be like a competitive side to it. This game is just straight up all wacky fun.
It's a good party game at the end of the day.
Really good party game. So the hook with this game is all characters are one shot.
Oh.
Yes. So when you use your drill has to cool down for like a second or two, and then you can drill again. But you have to pretty much take into account that cooldown so you don't end up getting caught and getting killed. But also there's a whole bunch of different drill bits that you can choose from. So there's like one that's just a standard drill that you can use, and there's one that if you hold down the attack button, it'll be a stronger drill attack, which can actually break through parries. So if you drill at the same time as someone else with a base drill attack, you guys will just bounce off each other, but if you use that attack, it'll take over that one and you'll win. There's ones that'll like attack twice in a row without a cooldown. There's ones that'll just go straight, keep going, and then bounce off walls. There's ones that'll give you boosts and stuff like that. And then there's also all the different characters in the game. I think there's about like 9 in total, and each of the characters have their own passive abilities. Like Simone, he has the ability to double jump, and also he can dash with like the R button. And then there's also one character who looks like a knight with a drill, and he has a shield that he can use at basically any time, so he can pretty much just block somebody's drill attack and then just follow through and kill them in a counter. There's another character that I didn't unlock that has a grappling hook, so he can actually like grab you and pull you towards him, like Warthog from Roadhog from freaking Overwatch. There's a ninja character who can do like a substitution jutsu and then like hit you after that. There's a girl that has like a mega jump, so she can jump damn near like to the top of the map at the press of a button. There's one character who can, who's the only exception to the one-hit rule because he has 2 lives. He's like a demon, and he can like respawn instantly after getting hit once, so he technically has 2 hits. So there's like a lot of variety in Drillman Rumble that makes for like lots of interesting combinations of characters and drills. Also, the level design is really cool. There's multiple settings, but then each of the settings, when you're making games, there's like basic level layouts, advanced level layouts, or like insane level layouts. So they're just more complex and they have more elements to them versus just playing them base. As far as game types, I think on the demo it seemed like there would be multiple game types in the game settings, but there was just the it was just the elimination, and then you can set it to a certain amount of wins, and then once you get a certain amount of wins, you win that game. But I think they might add a couple more game modes in the final product.
Do you think they're gonna add like team games or like where
you might be able to do like teams probably. The online games were active with AI, so I got to experience what it'd be like to do like an 8-player game, which is really silly. But yeah, and also what's cool is there's a single-player campaign too. So there's this thing called Drill Mountain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's this thing called Drill Mountain, and it's like 4 different layers of settings, and each area has like a gauntlet of levels that you go through to try to not die or lose like enough lives or something. And then when you get to the end, you actually fight a boss. and then after that you end up unlocking the unlockable characters. You can get those through Drill Mountain. So there's actually a lot of stuff in there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the final product of this one. That's gonna be a really fun like party game to have on Switch for sure. I'm looking forward to that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I just saw the video for it, and I'm absolutely loving the style.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic.
It looks fun.
It's awesome.
When it comes out, I think us as RDW should like do a couple streams or videos. Oh yeah,
I'm 100% gonna be playing this on my Switch. Even like it was like I was playing with some friends, and like we were just like I said, you can't take this game seriously. So it's like there's a whole bunch of like there's like stage hazards and like some of the items that spawn. Like there's like these drill mechs that spawn on the level after a couple seconds, and you can take that, and then you have like basically armor on that to where you can just try to just straight up gun for your friends with it, but then they can kill you with a headshot with the drill if you're in it still. So it's like it's hilarious. I love that. So
I'm sad I did not get to try that with you guys. I'm waiting for it to come out. I do want to give 2 shout outs if that's okay.
Yeah.
2 games. I didn't cover any content for these games, but I think they're still kind of cool in some capacity. One of them being a game called Gamedec, which is a super heavy RPG set in the future where you're playing a game detective. This is in a world where virtual reality and augmented reality are way beyond what we could imagine, and you have full immersion like SOA, and then you have things that make your actual reality feel altered. So it's your job to go and be a detective for what happens or mishappens in a lot of these different games. But the cool thing is it has a shit ton of replayability because it is very choice heavy. There are hundreds of thousands of branching choices, and you could do the same mission 5 different times because there's 5 different classes to play, and each of them change how you do things in it, what choices you have, what information's given to you, and what paths it goes to. I was initially going to do a stream with these people, but they had to cancel due to other reasons. And as interesting it is to me, I'd be more interested in watching it than playing it because it's just not quite there for my style of gameplay. But I definitely have to see people's choices in there, so I'm going to throw a shout out there.
This. This looks like I'm looking at the trailer and it's like adaptive cyberpunk isometric RPG, and I'm just like, Jesus, that's a mouthful. But yeah, it looks like this will be a really interesting game. Like this might be like what's that one game? I can't think of it, but this looks like it'll be a really good game for people that like story-driven games, lots of visual novel type of stuff.
Yeah, this is exactly a visual novel where your choice, and it's like what you think is simple choices, I believe end up mattering later in the long run. It's crazy. And then the one other quick little shout out I want to do is Unrailed. I just love that game. I believe everyone should get it. It is, if you are a fan of party games like Undercooked, or is it Undercooked or Overcooked? Overcooked. Sorry, Overcooked, my bad. If you're a fan of Overcooked, this is right up your alley. It's crazy. It's kind of intense. You really need 4 players to do anything with it, and it's absolutely a blast. It's a game where basically you are building train tracks for a train that keeps moving no matter what you do. And it keeps getting faster. Environment keeps changing. A lot of things keeps getting pushed in your way, and you're searching for these little screws to get upgrades as you go.
Yeah, the demo is actually on the Switch right now. So if you guys want to check that out, it's actually on the Switch. I've played it by myself and with some friends, and I like it. Actually, it's not too hectic like Overcooked. You can almost kind of zen out while playing it, but also you're like staying aware of what's going on.
But I promise you, it ramps. If you've seen like this game, this isn't the first demo for the game. I think the game's actually fully launched on PC, but now we're getting released for Switch, and it just gets insane.
I can't wait.
There's people like you start screaming at each other at some point. It's the fucking logs.
It's almost like it kind of makes me think of since you're using like an axe and a pickaxe and stuff to like mine resources, it makes me think of like Minecraft kinda with the Overcooked aesthetic with the train. Yeah. So that's really cool. Looking forward to playing that entirely. For sure, picking that one up. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna touch on 2 more games, and I think we can call it I just, like I said, there's so many games that they talked about, that they showed. It's like you can't even bring them all up. But I want to touch on Bravery Network Online, which is a really awesome game for people that like turn-based RPGs, like Pokemon, or I even say maybe like Persona, where you're managing like things in your party and stuff like that. So you're playing as a Braver, which I think it's a Braver. You're playing as this computer screen, because I guess your subconscious gets pulled into this computer, and you are now in charge of a team of these people who have abilities and powers, and they're pretty much trying to become the best, whatever they're called, that they can be. It's like a really interesting thing. The art style is very unique. I love the art style. It makes me kind of think of like Scott Pilgrim plus like some other type of thing. Looks really great. The writing is hilarious. Like it's really self-aware too. So like in the demo, your character ends up getting like a really ugly face, and then they're saying, oh, in order to get a new face, we have to take you to this guy who can upload a new face to your computer screen. And then it's like you go to the guy and he says, oh yeah, you need money for me to be able to do that. And then you're just like, one of the text box option is like, can't you just do it for free, please, I'm ugly. So it's like, and then you're talking to one character, and then they're having a conversation, but then one of them slips in the fact that I guess all these characters are immortal for some reason, and then it's like they scrape over it. But then you as the player, you're like, wait, what? And then when it gets to your character's turn to talk, one of the text boxes is, wait, did you say something about immortal? So you're just like, so I'm just like, I love the writing for this game. It's really great.
I'm going through the screenshots and I just see a fight going on, and I just see the text "Grace used unbutton," and it looks like the other character is fainting.
Yeah, and also like in the battles, there's also like a referee, because like in Pokemon, how it's like there's always somebody commentating over the battle, right? So in this one, they actually gave that thing a personification, and it's like this black and white referee figure that is just doing dynamic poses in the background the whole time. So you're just like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Okay, hold up. So that's really funny. And then going on to the battle system, it's actually pretty deep and very interesting. So it'd be like as if, imagine Pokemon, but you can see what type of moves your enemy's Pokemon can do. Therefore, you have the ability. Yeah, you know what they can do, and you basically are trying to pick the moves to counter what they're gonna do. So it's like there's different ways of priority. So certain moves have more priority over others, but also your characters have more speed than others, like in Pokemon, where that'll choose the order of operations. So say for instance, I'm playing a character who's faster than yours. No, you're playing a character who's faster than mine, but I have a move that's faster than the one you're going to use, then I get priority with that.
No matter what your speed is, because the speed of the move is still the...
Yeah. So it's like you can...
this is the kind of shit I would like to get into.
Yeah, so it's like you can finesse certain things like that, but also each character, there's like physical attacks, emotional attacks, and like I think some other type of attack that's kind of like magic, or like just straight up status affliction attacks. And certain characters are stronger or weaker against specific types of attacks, so you want to make sure you're matching up characters correctly against other ones, because you can also instantly like switch characters in exchange of doing an action. You can just switch out what character you're going to be using.
So like any other like turn-based.
Yeah. But also when you do actual physical attacks, you end up charging up these batteries, and they hold up to five pieces for a full charge. And when you charge up the battery, you can either parry an attack, or you can I think flourish an attack, which basically when you flourish an attack, that gives a move extra attributes. So say like you do one move and it does like 50 damage, if you flourish it, that'll give it like a fire effect or something like that. But then once you use that battery, it uses it up for the entire battle. You can't use it anymore. It's a special meter that doesn't recharge after one. Yeah, but you have like 3 batteries in total or whatever. 2 or 3 batteries. So you can you're building up those batteries, but then you're choosing when you need to use them. So it's like, I guess that's one of the things where it's like if the battles end up going for a long time, you have these trump cards that you can pull out, which will probably end up changing or altering the tide of certain situations.
So is there an end goal? Like, obviously this is story
so
driven,
yeah,
right?
there is a story in the game, and it's really, I'm not sure what the story is, because even like in the demo, your character still doesn't 100% know why they're there. So so you're just like as clueless as they are. But you're basically, the whole demo was showing you all the different mechanics, and then at the end of it, it was just a battle, like a 6-on-6 battle against the other team. But then after
I
that,
got
what's
you.
really cool is this game also is going to have online multiplayer.
Ooh,
Yeah, so you
interesting.
can literally set up a team and then go against other players. So they're actually trying to make this into an actual, I guess, a Pokemon-like type of situation, but it's not like um, it's not like Temtem or anything like that, where you're moving around a whole like isometric map. It seems like it's going to
It's
be
just
more
battles.
dating semi-visual novel type of style.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, hey,
I'm really looking forward to this.
to be successful at this type of game, they just have to have good fight mechanics.
The
Like they
fighting
have,
mechanics are solid. Yeah.
yeah. So if they have that, then it can still be a really great game. The movement is not what makes Pokemon or Temtem; it's the fight system.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really good. And also, like I said, the humor shines through. The writing is amazing. I can't wait to get back in here to just see what happens with these characters.
I'm ready to try it, man.
Yeah, and
I
also
wish that.
just the representation in this game too. You can tell this team is full of people that want to make sure, since it's like a whole bunch of different people. There's different body types. There's different races.
And
There's
it's LGBT positive, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's
100% looks like
yeah.
it's that type of thing, because there's a lot of like gender fluid looking characters in this game that have like, oh, this person's name is like Ryan, but I'm not sure what the pronouns are on this person. So
I see the
yeah,
ref in the background
the
for
ref is
this. And
amazing. I
all
love the ref so much.
oh my god! Just the poses that this ref is doing.
Hmm.
Oh, this is gonna be great. I'm sad I didn't check. Man, I wish you said more
I'm
about
not
this.
sure if the demo is still online. So like I said,
It's
you can
not. I
check.
checked.
Oh,
I'm
you
on
checked.
Steam. I'm
Dang.
on Steam
Okay.
right now. Yeah, as of
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
There's
But
no demo.
yeah, I'm looking forward to when that releases. I'm not sure what the window or release date is, but that's going to be great. Oh yeah, and the developers for Bravery Network Online are Gloam, Gloam. So that's really dope. Looking forward to when that releases. And
They didn't have to
then
put the product makers for the ones I mentioned. I forgot to tell who the producers were. I apologize.
oh yeah. Let's see. And then the last game I'm gonna bring up, I will talk about Hacktag. And Hacktag is made by Piece of Cake Studios. This game is a cooperative. Let's see. It's like a cooperative game where one person is the secret agent who is infiltrating the base, the warehouse, the office building, or whatever, and then the other player is either playing locally or online, and they are the hacker that is going through the mainframe and the firmware of the building, and they are hacking doors open for the player. They are hacking computers. They're hacking cameras. They are hacking phones to alert guards so that the player that's playing the agent can sneak through hallways and things like that. It is very well made, like cooperative game. Me and a friend of the show, Show You Can Pizza, we were playing that, and it actually gets very hard. So like we played through the first, like there's 3 different difficulties. It's like easy, medium, hard, but then there's different types of objectives you can do, where one is like, oh, go through this base and get like 1 terabyte worth of data from the computers. So you have to go through, collect data. There's another one where it's like just get to the boss's computer and hack that. And then there's another one where it's like something else another objective that you have to do. But each one of those have their own difficulty levels. And we tried easy, that was fine, right? Then we did medium. The medium was so hard. And it's like
Oh,
we had to actually be on our P's and Q's when we were like coordinating what we were doing, because it's like if say like I'm in a hallway and I'm in a corner and I'm fine, but then like the person who's hacking is like, oh, I'm trying to get through this security system because there's like these there's like, I think, privacy theft monitors that are going through the wiring in the mainframe of the security, and it's like the hackers avoiding those and also avoiding like anti-theft software. So you're trying to, they're trying to do that, but you're just like, what's taking so long for you to unlock this door? And they're having their own crisis on the other side. So it's
Oh
like,
no.
and then it's like,
Is there moments where like you as the agent who's in the field can like do stuff to help the hacker get through things, like turn off PCs or like
yeah,
or
so
do
there are
something
certain
like
things where it's like there are these I guess like anti-theft scanners that are around some computers that makes it hard for the hacker to get into some computers and hack some stuff. And you can go up to the actual unit on the floor of the building and turn that off for like 20 seconds. Then the hacker can get in and do what they need to do and then leave that area. Or for example, for the hacker, they can like ring a phone in a building, and then that'll distract some guards so that they can the agent can slip through a hallway or something like that. So it's like sometimes later in later areas you'll have one where there's a camera and there's a guard in the same area, but also it's like you have to end up deactivating something so that the hacker can even get to that camera. So it's like you have to, it's almost like puzzle solving at the same time while also coordinating to try to just get through those areas. So it's really fun. Like I said, it's 2-player cooperative. There's an option to play it single player, but I'm like, I wouldn't do that at all. It's like a game you literally need to play multiplayer. Online or local works fine. So yeah, highly recommend checking out Hacktag. That game was really fun for me.
Damn, it looks like a lot of fun.
And also it has like a weird furry aesthetic, like very human-like type of furry aesthetic.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, not even just like not even like Zootopia anthropomorphic. It's more like just like kind of humanized animal hybrid type of things going on. It's really interesting.
Did it ever in that, or do you just get put in it and accept that fact?
That's just the aesthetic of the game. You just gotta accept it. Fair
enough.
Like the guards are like rhinos or whatever, so they're just like you can't fight them because they will just destroy you. You have to avoid them at all costs.
Not only do they have guns, but they can just barrel through your ass.
But
you play as an agent, you play as what? I didn't quite.
Yeah, the agents are like foxes, raccoons, rabbits, and stuff like that. So yeah. Really good game. Apparently it's already out on PC. It's been out for a while. But I think the thing for Gamescom is it's coming to Switch and other platforms soon.
PlayStation as well. And yeah. Mac, though, I don't know if it's already been out for Mac.
But yeah, if you want a game to coordinate with a friend and hack some stuff, but you actually have the opportunity to be like, I'm in, then you can do that. So
I feel like that'd be a fun game to stream with someone.
It really was. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of other games that I would love to bring up, but we're a little short on time, so we're gonna leave it there. We just named off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 9 games basically that you guys can go and check out. Pumpkin Jack, Unbound.
List. There's like a 10th of the list that was at
Indie
Arena.
Like they had over 100, like 30, 40 games at Indie Arena booth. So yeah, the fact that I even got to play like the handful that I did was great. So 100% keeping tabs on most of the stuff that I got to check out, even the ones that I didn't get to check out. So, you got anything else to add, Connor?
I just want to give a massive thank you to the people at Indie Arena booth for accepting my stuff for this so I could stream and work with all these great companies that I ended up working with. And I want to say thank you to all the companies that actually reached out to me and let me do this with them. Everyone over at the people who made Unbound and the people who made Imagine Earth. Just, thank you so much for your time and let me do this.
Yeah, and basically ditto for me too. Shout out to the team over at who did I talk to? Oh, shout out to the team over at Spinch. Shout out to the team over at Drillman Rumble, Hacktag, To The Rescue, Bravery Network Online, all those other amazing devs for this weekend. You guys are great. And also shout out to Gamescom in general for putting together Indie Arena booth. Lots of awesome stuff. Do it again, please. I love this. So with that, we will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, give it a like. Also subscribe for more awesome content coming through for Indie Arena demos and stuff like that in the future. And then also Connor's here. So Connor, shameless plug yourself really quick.
Yeah, check me out on my Twitch at RennocTheGreat. I also have my Twitter at the Camera Game. And all my YouTube videos you can find over at Content RDW channel. Be looking out for Spiritfarer review. I'll be coming out with that hopefully by the end of this week, if not next week. And a couple other of the interviews that I did, I'll be chopping together and putting up on a video on there.
Awesome. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.